So let me begin with the topic center of mass. So suppose let me start with one example. I have a uniform rod, means that every point has equal mass, uniform, right? So center of mass is a point at which the entire body can be balanced. I mean, where shall I keep my finger? Where should I keep my finger so that it should be balanced? Shall I keep my finger here, or shall I keep my finger exactly at the middle, or shall I keep my finger somewhere here? At what point I have to keep my finger so that it should be in equilibrium? Equilibrium means it is balanced. Understood? So at what point I have to keep my finger? Using my finger I want to balance it. So I have to keep my finger exactly at the middle of the uniform rod. Then it will be in equilibrium, or it will be balanced. You agree with me? Is that correct? Okay, but in the case of uniform rod, okay, it is exactly at the middle. But if you have a rod having some irregular shape like this, if I have a body having some irregular shape like this, if I keep my finger at the middle, may not be balanced. This portion having much larger weight, heavy. This one is heavy compared to this side. So it will be moving like this, and this will be going up. I mean, if I keep my finger at the middle in this particular case, it cannot be balanced. The center of mass, I mean the point at which the body should be balanced, maybe somewhere here. Understood? So the center of mass is the point at which the entire body can be balanced, or more precisely the definition I will write here. Center of mass. The precise definition is what I am going to write. Center of mass is the point at which the entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. This is the more precise definition, but when I discuss question, I will discuss only in this way. It is the point at which the entire body can be balanced. Okay, understood. But in exam, if they are asking for definition, you have to write this definition. Center of mass is the point at which the entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated. So meaning that I have to keep my finger exactly at the middle, because we imagine that the entire mass is concentrated here. That is why I am able to balance. Understood? If the entire mass is not concentrated here, if the entire mass is concentrated somewhere here, I have to keep my finger at that point. Understood? That's why we define like this. So the center of mass is the point at which the entire mass, this entire body will have a total mass, right? The entire mass is assumed to be concentrated. At that point, if I keep my finger, the entire body can be balanced. So have you understood the meaning of the center of mass? Aaron, Devasri, Raj, Said, everyone is okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, there is a lot of mathematics in this chapter. Initially there is no problem, but later when we learn about the rotation of the system of particle, there is a lot of maths. So don't miss any class. I am discussing about the system of particle. This rod, this one, actually system of particle, right? Every point will have certain mass, but the total mass will be concentrated at a particular point. At that point, I have to keep my finger, then it will be balanced. Understood? So let us look at the important. There are certain important objects for which the center of mass you have to understand. You have to learn it. The first one is uniform rod. I have already discussed it. certain important objects for which you have to learn the position of the center of mass. It is very, very important. Uniform rod. I have already discussed about the uniform rod. Where is the position of the center of mass? Tell me. In the case of uniform rod, where is the position of the center of mass? Tell me. Forgot? Nobody is responding. Hello?
At the center.
At the center, at the middle point, right? The center of mass is at the middle. Understood? I have already discussed that. So at the middle. Understood? 1 minute. Pen is not visible. At the middle. Center of mass in short form we can write CM. At the midpoint. There are certain objects. You must memorize all this. The next is circular disc. Circular disc. Where is the center of mass? Can you suggest? Circular disc. Circular disc. Tell me. Not middle, center. Understood? Circular disc you understood. I don't want to write the definition. Circular disc means like this. Understood? This is circular disc. Thickness, having certain thickness. Okay, anyway, uniform thickness, right? This is the circular disc. Using my finger, I want to balance it. Using my finger, I want to balance it. I must keep my finger exactly at the center. If I keep my finger at that point, it will be in equilibrium. Understood? And in the case of circular ring or circular ring, the center will be the center of mass. I will tell you the reason. Circular ring. In this case, you will have a doubt. Circular ring means there is nothing inside. Nothing inside means the mass only at this circumference. The mass only at the circumference, but still we assume that there is certain massless support. We assume that there are certain massless support. In order to keep my finger, there is some massless support. So in this case also, we imagine that there is some massless support connecting center. In this case also, I have to keep my finger at the center. Then the circular ring also can be balanced. Here I make a small assumption that the end mass only at the circumference or along the perimeter, but we assume that there are certain support connecting the center. There are certain massless support. Okay, so I have to keep my finger at the center. Then the ring can also be supported, balanced. All of it clear? Aaron, Devasri, Raj, Said, have you understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
These things you have to memorize. These are very simple concepts. So CM at the center. You are familiar with that. The next is triangular, not triangular, rectangular sheet. Rectangular sheet. These are just you have to understand. Rectangular sheet. It is required. There are problems. I will discuss problems. Rectangular sheet. For a three-dimensional look, let me draw like this. Okay. For a three-dimensional look, let me draw the rectangle like this. We have a sheet in the shape of a rectangle. Tell me, where shall I keep my finger to balance it? Anybody? Tell me. Where shall I keep my finger? Rectangular sheet. No response. No idea? Center. But how will you define center here? You just draw the diagonals.
Between the diagonal.
The diagonals will be meeting at a point. You agree with me? The diagonal will be meeting at a certain point. That will be the center. Understood? See. Exactly at the center. Understood? Center. Okay. Or it is the point at which the diagonals meet. And one more point is, one more point, 1 minute. Last one, let me draw here. Fourth one is triangular sheet. Triangular sheet. Need not be equilateral, remember. Need not be an equilateral triangle, some triangle. We have a triangular sheet. Using my finger, I want to balance that sheet. Where shall I keep my finger? Anybody? Anybody? If you don't understand, you please ask me, I will repeat. Okay, I am ready to repeat. Triangular sheet, where shall I keep my finger to balance it? No idea. Then I will tell you. Center is not a good explanation. I will tell you. It is said to be centroid. In mathematics, you studied about the centroid. Let me give the vertices ABC, name ABC. The center of mass will be at the centroid. Centroid means you have to draw the medians. Median you studied in the lower classes. You would have to take the middle point of one side. Take the middle point of one side. If it is not visible, you can zoom it. Take the middle point of one side, joining with the opposite vertex. Sorry, my diagram. Okay, anyway, understood. AD is said to be a median, one of the median. Median means it is the line segment joining vertex and the middle point of the opposite side. Similarly, we can draw the median from B. You need to find the middle point of AC here, joining with the B. You will get another median BE. And the third median from C you can draw. Okay. All the medians will be meeting at a point which is said to be centroid. Centroid is the point of intersection of the medians. So center of mass is at the centroid in the case of triangular sheet. These are the important objects you have to memorize. So all of you please write down. If you are 100% clear and written, you can raise your hand. If you don't understand anything, you please ask me. Aaron understood. Aaron said okay. Kajal, okay, understood. Aaron said Kajal understood. Devasri, you are writing, right? You are writing.
Sir, completed, sir.
Completed. Okay, okay. So everyone is okay. Finished. This is a textbook question. So you just tell me the answer. You got the idea. 6.1. It is taken from NCERT textbook. You just tell me the answer. Tell me. Solutions. Give the location of the center of mass of sphere. Tell me. Where is the center of mass of the sphere? Center. Understood? Clear? The entire mass is assumed to be concentrated at the center. Understood? Clear? I hope you have understood. Okay. No need of any calculation. You better memorize it. Okay. It's very simple fact. Okay. Second one, cylinder. Cylinder look like this. You know. Cylinder look like this. Where is the center of mass? I think everything is at the center. Okay. I don't want to discuss this question. Everything is center. Okay. You just write center. Center, 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 center. Okay. No need of any calculation. Okay. For everybody, it is at the center. It is taken from NCERT. Can I go to the next topic? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no need to write, sir. Just there is a question in textbook. That is, I just showed. So the next is, now here onwards there is a plenty of questions. Next topic is center of mass of the system of point center of mass of system of point masses. System of point masses. There is a lot of problems. All of you please listen carefully. Point masses. For example, I have a system. I have a system like this. The point masses, plenty of point masses. I have a system. They are connected by some massless support. For example, I have an object like this. For example, I have a object like this. This blue colored one is simply the massless support. The blue colored line segment simply represents the massless support. The M1, M2, M3, M4, etc., etc. Maybe some massless support will be there. I have to keep my finger. Where shall I keep my finger so that the entire system to be balanced? So center of mass of a system having point masses. Point masses means certain point carry masses. Certain point, not entire thing. Not entire thing. Certain points carry masses. The other things are just support only. The other things are just massless support. Certain points having certain mass. The other things are just supports. So where shall I keep my finger? Where should I keep my finger so that the entire system is balanced? That is what I am going to discuss. Center of mass of the system having point masses M1, M2, M3, etc. The formula you have to understand. Remember, derivation is not there. Okay? Derivation is not there. So remember, there will be mathematics. Okay? If you don't understand anything, you have to ask me. We have x-axis and y-axis. We have x-axis and y-axis. Z-axis I don't want to show. So we have a mass M1 here. We have mass M1 here. Okay. Let me, there is origin here. Understood? Can you see? There is an origin here. Let me join. Initially, in two ways we can write the formula. Actually, in two ways I can write the formula. Let me leave this diagram. I will draw the diagram. I will draw the diagram. All of you please listen. I will draw the diagram. There is x-axis and y-axis. There are point masses. M1 is here. M2 is there. M3 is there. M4 is there, etc., etc. They are connected by, for the time being I have shown only the three point masses. There can be more than 3 point masses. The blue colored one are simply the massless support. So we know the position of each point masses. We know the position of each point masses. I mean, M1 has the position. M1 is located at the point x1 comma y1. That is why I have drawn x-axis and y-axis. M2 is located at the point x2 comma y2. M3 is located at the point x3 comma y3. Similarly, if M4 is there, it is located at x4 comma y4, etc. My objective is somewhere I have to keep my finger so that the entire thing should be balanced. I want to find the coordinates of center of mass. Position of the center of mass I want to find out. The coordinates of center of mass is denoted by capital letter X, capital letter Y. Remember, we always use that symbol. Let me write the formula. After that you can ask me doubt. Okay, let me complete it. Center of mass will be a point at which the entire system to be balanced. Center of mass will have a position having x coordinate capital letter X and y coordinate capital letter Y. the x and y we can find out. The formula derivation is not there, just memorize the formula. The x coordinate of the center of mass is given by, very easy to memorize, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3. If m4 is there, m4 x4 will be there, etc. All divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus etc. This is the x coordinate of the center of mass. Center of mass will have y coordinate also. Same way, m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 etc. all divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus etc. The same formula can be written in vector format, but in problems we don't need vector. Vector formula, vector representation I will explain later. If I discuss a vector as well as this, you will be confused. Let me discuss all the numerical questions which require this formula. Later I will discuss the vector representation. So I hope you have understood. These two formula you please memorize. All of you please write down the formula. If you don't understand anything, please ask me right now. Please remove your old raise hand. Please remove your old raise hand. If you have written and understood, raise your hand. Aaron, Devasri, Kajal, finished. Say the okay, finished. The chapter is full of problems. Theory is there, but lots of mathematics. There is a lot of maths. Let me discuss. Okay, you have completed. Okay. Let me discuss one question. It is taken from exercise. Okay. It is taken from exercise 6.2 NCERT. All of you please listen. Remove your raise hand. In the HCl molecule, what is this HCl? Just asking. What is this HCl?
Hydrochloric.
Okay. HCl, hydrochloric acid, like that. Okay. HCl molecule, the separation between the nuclei of the two atoms is about 1.27 angstrom. Angstrom is a unit for measuring the smaller distances, atomic level distances. For measuring the atomic level distances, we need angstrom, not centimeter and meter. Atoms, I mean the diameter of the atom, understood. We don't need meter and kilometer. We need a much smaller unit, angstrom. 1 angstrom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter. You better memorize it. It's a small unit. 1 angstrom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So HCl molecule, you know that HCl consists of hydrogen and chlorine. You know that. Let me give a small gap to make you understand. Let me give a small gap. Hydrogen is here and chlorine is here. You know that there will be a small gap between the hydrogen and chlorine. Okay, you might have learned in the chemistry. You agree with me? Clear? The hydrogen chlorine, okay, they will not be coincided. There will be a small gap between hydrogen and chlorine. So let it be hydrogen. It is here, somewhere here. And this is chlorine, somewhere here. H, then this is Cl. Understood? This is HCl molecule. The separation between the nuclei, I mean separation between hydrogen and chlorine is 1.27 angstrom. The distance between, let me show the distance here. The distance, let me show the distance like this. Is that okay? You can understand. The distance between the hydrogen and chlorine is 1.27 angstrom. Okay. given in the question. So the question is, the mass of the hydrogen and chlorine not given, but find the approximate location of the center of mass given that chlorine atom is 35.5 times as massive as hydrogen atom. The hydrogen atom mass I don't know. The mass of the hydrogen atom we have no idea. We assume that the mass of the hydrogen atom m1, mass of the chlorine atom m2. We just make an assumption. But it is given that mass of the chlorine atom is 35.5 times m1. It is given in the question. For the time being, let me denote m1 and m2, but remember, m2 is 35.5 into m1. And they are connected by some massless support. You know that. There is nothing here, but maybe electron may be there. But the electron does not have, is weightless, understood. The mass can be neglected. The H and Cl are connected by some kind of support, but the masses are located only at hydrogen and chlorine. Okay, the other things are just a support only. So at what point, where is the center of mass? I mean, if I keep my finger, not finger, where shall I keep a point so that it can be balanced? Understood. So I hope you have understood. So question is clear to you? All of you clear?
Yes, sir.
Raj, Devasri, you understood? Aaron, Said, question is clear?
Yes, sir.
So we studied this formula, right? Sorry, m1 x1 m2 x2, that formula. We prefer that formula only. Okay, we prefer that formula only. So let me draw x-axis and y-axis because it is required. X-axis and y-axis are required. Let me draw x-axis like this. Y-axis joining hydrogen and chlorine. Let me draw this. Let it be x-axis. We can assume x-axis and y-axis. There is no problem in that. Understood? 1 minute. Let me draw y-axis here. Y-axis does not have any role here, but let me draw it. Y-axis. Oh, center of mass x square, small letter x, small letter y. I think it is better. This is x-axis and this is y-axis, and this is origin. This is origin. The hydrogen atom is located there. The hydrogen atom is located at the origin. Understood? Chlorine atom is at 1.27 angstrom away from origin. This is chlorine atom. So if x and y are not mentioned, you must imagine. We prefer x-axis as the axis joining the two masses. So it is very easy to write the coordinates. I want to write the coordinates of each masses. So if I draw x-axis like this, it is very easy to write the coordinates of each masses. You agree with me? All of you clear? Understood? Now tell me, m1 I don't know, but tell me what is the coordinates of m1? Please tell me. I will draw in the diagram itself. What is, tell me coordinates of m1? Let me delete this. Tell me, look at the diagram. M1 is hydrogen atom. What is the coordinate position? Is it 0, 0? The coordinates of M1 is 0, 0 because M1 is located at origin. And where is M2 located? Tell me. Where is M2 located? M2 is located 1.27 angstrom away from origin. This distance is 1.27, right? Chlorine M2 is located 1.27 towards right side. It is angstrom. I will write it later. Unit I will write later. 1.27 is the x coordinate of chlorine atom. But still chlorine atom is on the x-axis. If you consider a point on x-axis, y coordinate 0, you studied 9th standard onwards, you studied. If you take any point on x-axis, does not have any y coordinate. It is 0. So why chlorine atom has x coordinate 1.27? Because it is located 1.27 angstrom away from origin. That is why chlorine atom has coordinates 1.27 angstrom, comma 0. Angstrom I will use. Okay, don't worry. Till this step you are okay? Clear? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Devasri.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is our formula? The formula is very simple. You have written here. What is the formula? Let me delete this diagram. What is the formula? The formula is very simple. The x-coordinate of center of mass is given by. X-coordinate of center of mass is given by how? Each point mass to be multiplied with its own x-coordinate. Each point mass to be multiplied with its own x-coordinate. Hence m1 into x1 plus m2 into x2 plus m3 into x3 divided by the total mass. So the numerator is very simple. Each mass to be multiplied with its own x-coordinate. And we will add them. So I will discuss that. I don't want to spend time on writing m1, m2, m3 like that. It is not required. Anyway, I will write the formula, otherwise you will have confusion. The center of mass has x coordinate as well as y coordinate. X coordinate of the center of mass will be, let me write the formula, m1 x1 plus m2 x2. m3 is not there, only m1 and m2 by m1 plus m2. Let me write the formula. m1 is m1 itself, we don't know. x1 is the x coordinate of m1, right? x1 is the x coordinate of m1. X coordinate of m1 is 0. m2 is 35.5 m1. Understood? m2 is 35.5 m1. Into x2. x2 is the x coordinate of m2. x2 is what? X coordinate of m2. X coordinate of m2 is 1.27 angstrom. Angstrom. You may write unit later. Okay. By m1 plus m2. m1 I don't know. m2 is 35.5 m1. This is the x coordinate of center of mass. You can ask me doubt, but let me finish the solution. Let me first finish the solution. After that you can ask me doubt. Okay, that is better. So here what happens is m1 into 0 cancel, becomes 0. Here you have to do one multiplication. 35.5 into 1.27. Can I multiply 35.5 into 1.27? Let me do the multiplication. But I don't want to show the calculation in the screen. 135.5 into 1.27. You will get approximately 45.1 or 45, no problem. 45, take 45. I will use approximation. 45 m1 is the angstrom unit to be written. m1 I don't know. In the denominator m1 plus 35.5 m1. It is 36.5 m1. It's very simple, right? 1 m1. You read like that. 1 m1 plus 35.5 m1 will be 1 plus 35.5 m1. 36.5 m1. You can ask me doubt after completing the solution. Listen carefully. Okay. So you can see that m1 cancels. Angstrom remains there. 45 by 36.5. I don't want to show the calculation. 45 divided by 36.5. You will get 1.2. Not completed. The x coordinate of the center of mass is 1.2 angstrom. The x coordinate, it must be here, the center of mass. the center of mass will have x coordinate 1.2 angstrom. Clearly y coordinate is 0, but I will show you using the formula. What is the y coordinate of the center of mass? The y coordinate of the center of mass will be m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2. No need to substitute because y1 is 0. y1 is the y coordinate of m1. y1 is the y coordinate of m1, which is 0. y2 is the y coordinate of m2. y2 is the y coordinate of m2, again 0. Numerator is 0. So no need to simplify. The y coordinate of the center of mass 0. So center of mass has x coordinate 1.2 angstrom. Y coordinate 0. Meaning that the center of mass is located 1.2 angstrom away from hydrogen atom. Center of mass is between hydrogen and chlorine. Center of mass is between hydrogen and chlorine, but it is not exactly at the middle. It is say 1.2 angstrom away from hydrogen atom. Understood? We got the answer. So all of you please write down. This is a NCERT question. So you please write down. If you don't understand any step, please ask me. If you are okay, understood, raise your hand. Say the understood. Devasri, Aaron. All of you have finished. Okay. In every class, I will give you one question minimum. Okay, it is necessary. Actually, it is a neat question, but it is very similar to the previous question. This NCERT problem, very similar. That is why you do this question. You try this question. I will wait for 2 minutes. I will wait for 2 minutes. It's very similar. You have to draw like x-axis, y-axis like this. Solve it. Send me the solution through WhatsApp. So I hope you have understood. So let me repeat it. So I am talking about center of mass of the connected lamina. The problem I will discuss in the next class, but before coming to the next class, you have to memorize this formula. Let me explain the theory once again. We have connected sheets like this. 2 or more sheets connected together. We have to find the center of mass of the connected sheets. Let the center of mass of the entire system is x comma y. Here we all the measurements will be given to us. All the measurement means length, breadth, width, everything will be given. So first of all, you have to split the entire areas like this. Okay, you can decide. Okay, and we can measure the areas of each part, area A1, A2, A3, etc. And each area will have their own center of mass. A1 has the center of mass x1, y1. A2 has x2, y2. A3 has x3, y3. So the x coordinate of the center of mass of the entire system is A1 x1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 x3 etc. by A1 plus A2 plus A3. Similarly, y equal to A1 y1 plus A2 y2 etc. by A1 plus A2 plus A3. I will discuss the question in the next class. There is a question here in solved example, but I will discuss in the next class. All of you please write down this formula. All of you please write down the formula. If you don't understand, please ask. If you are written, you may leave the meeting. Okay.
Thank you, Subhash.
Okay.